Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, welcome to ConTech Accelerator Information Session. I'm Charlotte from HKSTP Partnerships. It's my honor to be the host of today's event. A very warm welcome to all our guests as here. Today's event will also broadcast live online. Let's also welcome our online audience. Joining hands by Construction Industry Council, CIC, and Hong Kong Science and Technology Parks Corporation, HKSTP. ConTech Accelerator, the industry-first innovation acceleration program, was successfully launched last month. 20 Hong Kong's leading construction partners have joined us to create a unique platform in accelerating construction technology, ConTech, and setting up the best practice for ConTech trials and adoption at different sites and premises. Today's information session will give you a better understanding of the challenges faced by the industry, and as well as an overview of ConTech Accelerator with some tips for staying ahead of the game. Without further ado, the information session now begins. Let's invite Mr. Michael Au, Associate Director of Partnerships from HKSTP, to come on stage to give us a welcome remark. Michael, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the information session. I would like to take this opportunity to thank CIC, our trusted partner in construction industry, for this collaboration of ConTech Accelerator, hoping that we could drive the best practice for ConTech trial and adoption across a range of different scenario insights. The construction industry has played a key role in positioning Hong Kong as one of the most dynamic cities in the world, and is one of the instrumental drives of the local economic growth. It makes up to more than 5% of the GDP in Hong Kong. Besides, the industry is also a significant provider of employment. There were more than 300,000 employed persons, from managers to workers, in 2017. However, the industry is not filled with innovation yet. In recent years, the industry has experienced increasing pressure in aging workforce, pressure in site safety performance, pressure in increasing future construction volumes. We need innovations to create more sustainable and safe construction environment. Therefore, we together launched Hong Kong's first ConTech-focused innovation acceleration program to create a unique platform for both corporate partners, the construction contractors, and the tech ventures to co-create innovation that actually fit the Hong Kong's construction industry, which we can trial together, learn from each other, and reconstruct the construction industry together. Thanks to CIC and the 20 committed contractors, we welcome all kind of solutions. We welcome local and global solutions. We welcome mature or premature pilot stage products. We also welcome the R&D stage product, but there will be no trial for R&D. We welcome you to join the trial in next year's accelerator. Before I pass the floor to the next speaker, I would like to thank you all again for joining this co-creation journey with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Please have a seat. The construction industry is facing different challenges on safety, sustainability, and productivity, and desires for cutting-edge methods and innovative solutions for improvement. Let's invite Dr. James Wong, Senior Manager of Industry Development from CIC, to share us about pain points faced by the construction industry. Welcome, James.
Thank you. Michael, dear fellow colleagues in Tech Ventures, good afternoon. Very warm welcome for you to join this information sessions under this accelerator program. I'm very delighted to see so many Tech Ventures join this program and provide practical solutions to address problems that facing by the industry. So in the coming 10 minutes around, I'm going to share with you some of the key challenges faced by the industry, setting as a background for you to see what are we facing and how you can propose some practical solutions to the industry, to the contractors. Happy problem first. In the coming 10 years, along with the government policies, there will be a huge volume of construction, including Northern Metropolis, Central Waters development, hospital development, more than 430,000 housing units to be built, as well as the number of railway projects. So in the coming 10 years, we expect that the construction volume will reach over 340 billion Hong Kong dollars. So when you compare with the peak in 2017 and 18, so we are actually stretching our limits in the next 10 years in terms of our resources, in terms of so many challenges ahead. Together with the construction volume, huge construction volume and the aging workforce, actually we'll be facing quite severe labor shortages. That's why we need some new technology, as mentioned by Michael, to build faster, to build smarter, and also to build safer to meet the industry needs and society needs. Sadly, as you know, that there are two major accidents happen in our industry. One is the gondola accident happened in June. Also last week just happened, 3 workers was gone because of the collapse of the tower crane happened last week, which damaged a lot our image and also our the overall perceptions of the industry. And we are facing critical challenge on safety. And actually, I think overall in the public in the overall public image, that construction is still called 3D construction. A long-winded name that we have: dangerous, dirty, demanding. And over the past around 20 years, we have about 20 fatal accidents per year. And the major causes of these fatal accidents were people falling from heights and the people trapped by collapsing or overturning objects and struck by some moving objects. But also some, we are also very concerned about workers working in some dangerous zone and also confined spaces and so on. But most of these accidents could be avoided or prevented by new technologies. For example, if we can adopt this kind of robots, which was invented in China, actually they are having this gondola robot working on the external walls for painting works, which can help avoid workers working at heights. And actually, many contractors are asking for some smart monitoring system to alert workers or some safety officers or managers to alert them workers are working at the very dangerous area. And actually in construction, this is very, very difficult to manage actually, because they are very complex in terms of structure, in terms of the number of stakeholders involved in the construction projects. Many subcontractors, we have consultants, we have the client bodies, and also the main contractors, obviously. And then there are many inspections need to be done. They're facing a lot of, they have to comply with so many requirements, contractual requirements and regulatory requirements as well. So it's very difficult to manage and improve the time, cost, and quality and safety. Also, many constructions nowadays are quite congested. They don't really have too much space for storage, and they want that the material handling will be just in time, and they have to monitor so many vehicles in and out from the construction site. And construction sites are also very dynamic. And because, for example, just even the walking platform that used in the construction site, there's some loose working platform or any uncover this working platform will create some safety risks to all the workers. So that's why some inventors, they generate some nice digitalized solutions to the industry. So with some of these solutions, with sensors, with automation system, monitoring system, and so on, plus the dashboard, then they can have a better management on the construction site operation. In terms of sustainability, C&D waste is also a very important aspect that our industry is looking at. For example, the C&D waste, every single day, we are creating about over 3,400 tons of C&D waste per day. So number of contractors are looking for some solutions to sort, all this C&D waste for this waste to be reused, recycled, and so on. And also many companies are looking into the carbon emissions and also ESG aspects. They're looking for green materials, green technologies, renewable energies for them to have a better performance in terms of sustainability. Because of all these challenges, we are very pleased to collaborate with Science Park to organize this accelerator program so as to really accelerate the adoption of new technologies in the industry and solve the problems that they are facing. So that's why we are very happy to have these 220 contractors involved and already collected their pain points. They're very generous in terms of saying all these pain points. Say some contractor may have a few pain points, but some, they have like more than 20 pain points they're spelled out. So it's very critical at this moment for tech ventures really look into all these problem statements, all the pain points, and see how your expertise, your technologies that you have will be able to address all this problem and solve it instantly. And of course, CIC will have some funding to support this program. If there's any technologies that can be applied directly in the construction site, then we will have the CITF, Construction Innovation and Technology Fund, provided by the Hong Kong government. So we are the administration body on this CITF to drive the adoption of these readily available technologies in construction sites. And recently we have launched the pioneering scheme. So if there's any technologies overseas that can be tried in Hong Kong construction site, we are also supporting this kind of technologies. If there are some technology needs further development, needs some research, then we also provide some R&D fund for you to do this kind of research work and adaptation work to be adopted in technologies. So hopefully through this program, we can work together and change the way we will and enhance our project delivery. So with that, thank you very much.
Thank you, James, for sharing us an in-depth overview into the industry's pain points. Trust our tech ventures will share their pre-ready or mature solution to address the needs of our partners. You may wonder if there is any insider tips and expectation for solutions that can help you succeed in this program. We are glad to have 3 construction partners of ConTech Accelerator here today to share their views on safety, productivity, and sustainability of the construction industry. Let's welcome Mr. Andy Wong, Head of Digital G, Government Construction Limited. Mr. A.T.N. Fayette, Head of Digital Innovation and Transformation, Dragage Hong Kong Limited. Ms. Michelle Lui, Manager of Business Development, Kip Hing Construction Group. and also our moderator, Mr. Leo Lee, Manager of Industry Development from CIC. The stage is yours.
Okay, thank you, Charlotte. Today, we're very happy to have three honorable guests from our construction partners. And as just mentioned by James, and we have some projects happened last week and even further. And we are not going to expect any more happenings in the futures, for sure. So actually, safety is always be the first things of the construction site and for first issue, very important. And so, Andy, you are very experienced professionals in the construction industry. So can you share or name one or two pain points about safety on the site level? And do you think the technologies can help to deal with them?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having us today to share with you all guys our pain points. So actually for safety, we can actually talk about for a whole day. But before I go into the pain point about safety in our construction industry, I would like to talk about the wider picture of safety. In terms of safety management, in our construction industry, we normally talk about a switch cheese model. You imagine the switch cheese, there's a lot of holes for the bullet to pass through all the holes, and then the last piece of cheese. You pass through all the cheese, then the accident will happen. So these layers of different cheese is actually is the protective layer. So we normally how we manage the safety on site. The last piece of cheese to make things happen is about the people. So PPE, the protective equipment on the people is the last piece of cheese. So we need to think about the other layers of protection, like changing the method, changing the equipment, or even changing the whole regulation of policy. This is the most effective way to really address the safety on our site. The first layer, for example, if you use MIC to do things off-site or in the factory, instead of doing things on site, so this is the most effective way in addressing safety in our construction industry. Why I talk about this? Because in the ConTech or technology world, we like to focus on the people. I mean, putting sensors or a lot of things or robots on site. So this is actually the last layer. So that's why I talk about this. Then go to the pain point very quickly. The first pain point in our construction industry is actually how we manage change on site. This is always creating problems. If things do as planned, I mean, in the office, I plan something like a table with 4 legs to put it on site, no problem. But if on site, I have to cut 1 leg of the table because there's a hole there, this change normally will create a lot of problems in safety, especially if the program is very tight, and how to manage this change. This is one of the pain points in our industry. The other is how we manage the near-miss events in our construction industry. Yeah, before something bad really happens, actually, maybe some near-miss events already show you the warning sign. Maybe something nearly dropped, or people walking around that always flip on the floor. So there was some signs, but how to capture that is, I hope some technology can help.
Thank you, Andy. I love your cheese story very much. And actually, ATN, I know that Jargaj is one of the active contractors for the underground construction in Hong Kong. So do you also have cheese stories about, about your pain points you have faced every day?
Well, thank you. No, as a Frenchman, I really love the cheese comparison. I don't have any cheese story to say. The underground works is very peculiar. It's really one of a kind. If you work in a tunnel, you have to imagine you work in an environment where your nearest safe exit can be hundreds of meters away or even a couple of kilometers away. So we definitely need to make sure the environment is safe. And I really like the way Andy approached it, where focusing on the individual is really the last range of defense. And we need to work upstream on the working environment and even before that. So some of the equipment we have actually focus on the individual, and it's really related to the tracking of where our people are and where our first aiders are with sensors. So we can make sure that if anything happens, everybody is accounted for, tracking the asset location. So if there is any congestion, this is maybe something bad can happen, so we need to take action. That's one of the approach that we have. And also taking experience from overseas operation, a technology that we have been investigating, which is promising, is autonomous equipment or even remote controlled equipment, where it's interesting to see how robots can do the work, and maybe in some cases it can be effective. But the construction industry is also very proud of the craftsmanship. So in some cases, we cannot take the work away from the people who know how to do it. That's a clear knowledge we need to take, some feedback we need to take into account. So having some remote controlled plant can put our people away from the risky situation, while at the same time giving them some control on the quality of the execution. So this is interesting to experiment as well.
Yeah, actually, Dragarges can be one of the pioneers in Hong Kong for robotics and a remote control in the local construction industry, and this is very amazing. And I think it's going to be a very big areas for further development, actually. So apart from the underground works, we are going high, actually. And for the building works, Michelle, any pain points you can share with your company keeping during the building of the superstructures?
Right. Actually, as you have mentioned, I guess one of the very apparent differences between civil jobs and also building job is that in terms of the site area, we are rather small or medium scale. And instead of going horizontal, we are going vertical, high rise. So basically what we built, we have a lot of stories and we have a lot of rooms which are non-typical. And just to mention, like one of our projects ongoing now in Kai Tak Sport Park, we have over 5,000 rooms. So that makes the visibility on site for site management staff and supervision staff very difficult because you can't penetrate a lot of walls to see through what's happening behind. And that's another pain point as well, because for example, the cameras with body recognition functions, you cannot go through blocks or walls. And that is why we have to go on something which is not just optical sensors. Maybe we are going, like, for example, UWV, something like ultra wideband, to position the workers, whether they are like trespassing something dangerous zone, some dangerous zones, or they're doing some dangerous act on the edge, stuff like that. And actually, we do cooperate with a lot of startups, companies, technology ventures, and for example, we work with one of the smart helmets companies, which is working here in Science Park, and we adopt a kind of like a phase cooperation with them. So we fit on some comments to them when we try on their tools and gadgets on site, stuff like that. So I think this is one of the major difference between civil jobs and building jobs. We are more complex, we are more congested, and we need technologies that can tackle these problems on site.
Yeah, actually, I think according to Michelle, the Hong Kong construction industry is not just 3D, 4D. The last word is dynamic, so that it can create many safety problems and also challenges to the management levels. So for the dynamic issues, one of the, I think the main driving is how to improve the productivities of our civil projects or even building projects. So Andy, you again, can you share some your views about how which kind of technologies can help to improve the productivity of our construction site?
Okay, so in terms of productivity, and I think technology should focus on how to reduce the manpower on site, or how to make things speedier, or reduce the time in doing things. So in our experience, like reducing the idling time or take away the waste time on site is the most effective way to really improve the productivity. One of the examples is like Gammon use a lot of concrete sensor to replace the concrete cubes. So basically, we don't need to waste the time to wait for the concrete cubes to wait for the concrete to gain strength, and then the sensor can tell real time. So this take away the wasted time in waiting. So this is a very good example of how to reduce the waste. And the other is we also use some sensors on our plant and equipment to track their utilization, so as to minimize the idling time or to optimize the resource allocation. This can also improve the productivity. So use less to do more.
Use less to do more. That's a very good point. And I think the sensor just mentioned by Andy can also be adopted for some building projects. But for Michelle, I think you are one of the KOL for MIC in Hong Kong. So can you share how can you adopt the technologies that help you to improve or increase the productivity of your projects on site daily?
I guess one of the challenges doing MIC projects, one actually happened right in front of the science park, that is the InnoCell. It's the communication crossing border, and we need to confirm details in a very short period of time with clients and consultants and also our subcontractors and suppliers, not to mention even more people to involve. So definitely on the communication side, we use what we call CDE nowadays, the Common Data Environment. So we work together on the same platform. It's 3D. There is a lot of information, and we see the workflow of approval status going on. And the other point is that we use what we call nowadays DWSS again, Digital Work Supervision System, which help a lot on not only the inspection, the e-inspection, but also on the progress monitoring. Because what we've done in InnoSound and also what we've done in the QCAMs, the quarantine centers in Penny's Bay, is that whenever we complete one inspection of one tray, for example, plastering and painting, when it's done, the inspection is complete. It means the progress has achieved to this stage. And by the completion of inspection forms or inspection process, we can digitally monitor the progress in real time when I'm in Hong Kong, while the factories in China or in South Asia. So we are migrating to a digital construction monitoring world nowadays.
Yeah, for this, I think really a KOL. For the digital monitoring for concept for the local construction, I think ATN may share some your views about that, because Duraguard has already been involved in many foundations or tunneling works, and I think it is very critical to carry on automatic or real-time monitoring for the works. So could you share your views about the say the IoT technologies, how to help it?
Yes, definitely. Thank you. So there's really a number of examples where successful use of IoT and digital workflows on site. For foundations, typically something that is becoming mainstream now is the use of automated deformation monitoring system, where you're working on a foundation, and one of the concerns is to make sure that the buildings around do not settle too much. And you need to make sure of that on a real-time basis to interrupt the work in case of something unsafe is happening. So of course, IoT is helping a lot with that. We have also successful use of end-to-end logistic and quality tracking system. So with the use of MIC, MIMEP, DFMA, all these modular construction examples, we need to make sure that the module we're setting in place comes together with the full history of quality tracking, and it's really working for the best of the credibility of the construction industry. So this is a lot of IoT use cases. And on the tunneling works, we have been using digital for the guidance system of all our machines. A lot of the progress we can make in safety, productivity, will be achieved with automation. And the way to drive automation is also to make sure we collect the correct information to control and drive the progress of our machines. So the tunnel boring machines have been using that for decades. Now we're using some automated lining formwork equipment in drill and blast tunnels as well, using similar technology. So we're really trying to have some successful recipe for automation to apply on more and more of our jobs.
I see. Thank you for ATN's sharings. And I think among the opinions by the three guest speakers, I think that's a very important element is how to do less and give out more outcomes from the technologies. So, ESG or sustainability is becoming popular, on our construction projects. And Andy, you have just mentioned how you can reduce concrete creeps in the HKSTP AMC projects. And I think there's also a benefit to reduce the carbon footprint. What do you think? Any of your views about how to reduce our carbon footprint in the construction projects?
Yeah, so actually as a contractor, we are just along the project life cycle, we are just one of the steps. So we cannot do much on reducing carbon. There are more effective ways in reducing carbon emission. But what we can do is like in our company now, construction company, we try to electrify our operations, try to take away the diesel generators or diesel fuels usage and electrify our plant and equipment. Early energization of the site, something like that. So we try to do this this moment. Another thing that Gamma is doing is we try to look at a technology called carbon cure, so to recycle the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere and then mix with the concrete. So this is things that we try to do more with carbon reduction.
I think that would be a very good move. Nowadays suffering from very hot temperatures, and today it's going to be 35 degrees Celsius or even more, and it's very important as one of the petitioners of the Hong Kong construction. We have the responsibilities to try to reduce the carbon footprint for the Hong Kong peoples. And at the same time, and another big issue in the construction site is about the C&D materials, the construction and demolition materials, and how to recycle or even reuse them is a very important issue, I think, for each of the petitioners of Hong Kong. So Adrian and Michelle, do you have any suggestion like the robotics or automations to facilitate the C&D sorting process in the Hong Kong construction site?
I'll go after you.
Adrian first.
So thanks, Leo. I think there's actually twofold to the question. One is what technology can we use to make recycling more efficient? So one of the issues here is, one of the reasons why recycling is not more successful is because it's unfortunately very easy to contaminate a batch of recyclable product. And so we need to get a lot more accurate in the sorting. So how can technology help in that? Can we have a robotic? What sensors do we need to really sort out what is recyclable and what is not in a very accurate and reliable way so that the recyclable material can be recycled? That's one fold. But I want to roll back a few steps and also echo what James Wong was saying earlier. Is the question here is about in the 3R strategy: reduce, reuse, recycle. That's the last one. How can we achieve the first two ones, which have a lot more leverage? So how can, say, automatization algorithm be used in reducing the quantity of material we use on a project at design stage, for example? That's the first R. When thinking about reusing, how can we connect the actors of the construction industry to say, okay, I have this asset or this component, I'm done using it. Can it be useful for somebody else? And can we connect the players like this so that something can be reused before we get to the last one, which is recycling? And of course, we also need the help in that department.
I'll add on the practical side. I guess when we are speaking on a robot on site to sort out the C&D materials, we need it foremost, it's practical. It's fit on the field because as what Dr. James has also highlighted, actually the sorting facility on site is not kind of like a flat piece of land. It's actually like a little berm, little mountain, which is everything mixed together. And there are a lot of like sharp edges. We have nails, we have like broken glasses, stuff like that. So the robot has to be like durable and adaptive to kind of like rough terrain and do the job automatically unmanned. So it's really difficult. It's not an easy made robot to do so. So we're really looking for something that could sort out the materials on site easily.
Yeah.
I just want to highlight, Michel just said something very interesting, and that maybe for the benefit of all the tech venture is a construction site demands a very sturdy and durable piece of equipment. I mean, whatever you come up with will have to be under the rain, under the sun. It's going to be bumped into, it's going to be damaged. It has to be able to work sometimes without power, sometimes without internet. And you need to take all that into account so that the solution is dependable. If it's not dependable, then very quickly the adoption will not happen.
We are looking for Iron Man, actually.
1D generated. We have durable technologies for the construction sites. Okay. At the end of this panel discussion, I really want to express my heartfelt thanks to all of the VIP. And actually, if it is possible, I think the audience, our tech ventures, is going to explore or get some takeaways from your sharing from your. And thank you very much. And hope the audience has some good points from you all. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And please take a seat. Let's give a big hand for their inspiring sharing. And I believe all of you have grabbed some tips in success in the acceleration journey. We look forward to witnessing our construction partners and tech ventures to affirm trials and adoption at different sites and premises. Apart from our participating partners, we can't miss our supporting organizations. 15 global partners from Austria, Australia, Taiwan, UK, Israel, Spain, Hong Kong, and mainland China have committed to connecting innovation communities and building a better future for the industry. Please join me to give them a big hand. Next, we are excited to introduce the ConTech Acceleration Program in more details. May we invite Mr. Raymond Leung, Manager of Partnerships from HKSTP, to give us a closer look on it. Raymond, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Raymond from HKSTP Partnerships team. I'm glad to be here to introduce the ConTech Accelerator program and the details to all of you. As mentioned by our MCs, again, thank you very much for the support from 20 numbers of leading contractors. Without your support, we can't be succeed. So that's the reason why we need to give a big hand to all the contractors. Thank you. We hope that while our program, we aim at addressing the pain points and affirm trials and adoptions at construction sites by matching them with innovative solutions. The response from our corporate partners were overwhelming. We grouped those problem statements into 3 different challenging areas with 64 numbers of generalized problem statements. Each category comes with a subcategory, which we show on site on our website. For example, like AI, IoT, robotics, etc. When submitting your applications, tech ventures, as an applicant, of course, needs to specify the problem statement that you would like to tackle. And of course, submit a tailor-made solutions for respective problem statements. Due to the time constraint, I cannot go through all 64 numbers of problem statements. So I will just give 1 or 2 examples under each challenging area. This first area is construction safety. This is the most important area that the industry, of course, our contractor is, look for some solution to help them with. Like AI, IoT, robotics, again, project management related solution to enhance the site safety. Couples of the most wanted examples would be like using the AI or predictive or monitoring solutions with real-time alerts on workers or even heavy vehicles on sites. The second area is sustainable constructions. This is an area that everyone in the industry is working on. Like the panel discussion mentioned, our contractors is looking for some effective, durable solutions for sorting C&D waste, which is, again, is construction and demolition waste. These are the samples that we get from our websites. The third area is construction productivity. Contractors are looking for different types of solution in this area as well. One of the examples we're looking for is smart defects inspections solutions before moving to the operation and maintenance stage. Another example would be like looking for solutions to real-time monitoring for the construction process. So again, you can go onto our website to have a glance on all those problem statements. For those who are curious of what's coming next after today's information session, here is an overview of the ConTech Accelerator program. The application period has already started, and the deadline of the proposal submission is 14th of October 2022. All proposals will be screened and selected by CIC, HKSTP, and our corporate partners. And the results will be announced in the middle of November. If you are being selected, we will line you up with Maybe if your solution is brilliant enough, even more than one corporate partners to have business matching sessions with them during November 2022 and January 2023. After the matching period, tech ventures which are successfully matched with our partners will move on to the discussions on trials or POCs arrangement. Hopefully, we could share some success stories with all of you or even with the industry in the Q2 in the second quarter of 2023. If your solution successfully paired with our partners, they might provide you with some construction sites for trials or POCs. We might also line you up with construction-related government fundings, as mentioned by Dr. James Wong, like CITF, Construction Innovation and Technology Fund, the CIC Research and Technology Development Fund, CIC R&D Fund in short, to see if you could benefit from respective government funding support. If your solution is a digitized one, or even a cloud-based solution, you might enjoy up to $10,000 promotional credit from AWS, which is our tech enabler, of course, depending on your eligibility, a free technical or consultation support, and a one-to-one free training of up to 10 hours on business or technical areas. Last but not least, again, we would also like to take this opportunity to thank you to our supporting organizations, as mentioned by our MCs. I hope you all got a brief idea on our ConTech Accelerator program. You are welcome to find out all of our problem statements from our ConTech Accelerator homepage, or you can scan the QR code here. Come and join us to embark on the exciting co-creation journey. Take action now. Looking forward to receiving your proposal submission soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Raymond, for giving us a detailed view of the program. Please stay on stage and move your staff a bit to the chairs. We now open the floor for Q&A. May we also invite Dr. James Wong to come on stage again for this session. James and Raymond will answer your questions about the program and the industry pain points. You may now raise your hand if you have any questions for on-site participants. For the online participants, you may drop your questions through the Zoom Q&A box. Raymond, just received an online question. One of the audience want to know how many tech ventures will be selected for ConTech Accelerator, and when will the tech ventures know the results?
We do not have a limit of the number of tech ventures being selected. It all depends on the solution submitted by your size. And besides, the deadline would be on 14th of October, 2022. So beyond that day, we will not receive any more submissions. And you will know the results in the middle of November. After we have a discussion with CIC and the corporate partners, that is our construction contractors, we will announce the shortlisted result on our websites.
Thank you, Raymond. And one more question about the program. Someone asked, what are the commitments for the tech ventures to join the ConTech Accelerator?
Right. Tech ventures should actively connect with the industry, because that's the reason why we organize this information session, so that offering you a chance to be in touch with our contractors here, to know more about their pain points. And because the selected contractors will let you know more in the business matching stages on the solution that they're looking for.
Thank you, Raymond. And one other question. Someone asked, can the accelerator or customer help with funding the R&D directly to the customer's requirements?
Perhaps I can answer this question. I think it's very important to have some kind of funding for tech ventures as well as the contractors to for adoption of these new technologies. And as I mentioned in my presentation as well as Raymond's, that we have some kind of fundings available for either the contractor or the tech ventures to apply. So if the technology is ready to be directly applied in construction sites, then we'll have the CITF. So I didn't mention the amount. Actually, government injected 2.2 billion Hong Kong dollars, which is a big money to drive the adoption of new technologies in construction in Hong Kong. And so far, we have spent about not too much actually. Still have a lot of room to be spent. Huge potential for you to apply. Actually, we have spent about just over 500 million so far. So about 1.6 billion is still there for you to apply. And for R&D, in CIC we have R&D fund. So actually, if you come up with when you meet the contractors and come up with something that new that needs further R&D, then you can look into our CIC website and find out all the R&D fund informations. Not too much money compared to the CITF. We earmark about 15 million Hong Kong dollars per year for applying for this R&D fund in CIC. And there is a mechanism to approve this kind of research projects. And hopefully, through this program, we come up with some practical R&D projects to deliver and help the industry.
Thank you, James. And one more question. The online audience want to know, do they need to submit 2 applications from the same company as 2 projects or all in one application? And is there any maturity level of products or technology interested in this accelerator customer, or is it possible to finalize the products directly to the customer requirements?
Right. Maybe I answer the first question and the second question. And for the first question, every tech ventures has to submit their applications in terms of the number of problem statements. So if your company have solutions for couples of the problem statements, for example, your solution can solve 3 pain points, for example, you have to submit 3 applications. Because at the end of our back end, in our website, because we pair up with different problem statements owners. So if you just only submit 1 problem statement, then that means you cannot direct to the others. So if you thought that your solutions could tackle like 2 to 3 numbers of problem statement, then you have to submit 3 applications. And then the second question is about the maturity level of the product or technologies. In our program, other than mature solutions, we will also accept premature solutions. Both of them we will accept from our programs, because some of the solution is readily available for the market, but some of the solutions, like our speakers mentioned, they are looking for some good solutions for their projects in the future. So that's the reason why our premature solution is also accepted.
Thank you, Raymond, for your detailed answers. And one more question. Can software or solutions still under development stage can join this program?
Again, depending on the problem statements that your solution can tackle, even though if it's a premature solutions, that we will also accept application. But it's highly depending on how your premature solution can tackle the problem statements that owned by our contractors.
Maybe the last question for this session. Do you have any financial support for the POC?
Yeah, maybe I can take these questions. Actually, as mentioned, if there's something available, particularly from overseas and also from Hong Kong, actually, if you have something needs to try in construction site for POC, then we have the pioneering scheme under CITF, and also we have also R&D fund supporting you for this site trial. So my team and also Raymond's team will also work very closely with the contractors as well as the tech ventures to see the opportunities, whether you need support. We try to facilitate as much as possible to provide our support, including financial support for all this adoption and also POC.
Thank you, James. Do we have any on-site questions? Yes, please.
Hello, everyone. So this is Sam from R2C2. So we are a robotic company actually working with Boston Dynamics and other robotic solutions. So for very specific robotic questions, is that for us, in order to get a robot to start working, we may have to place an order, that kind of thing. So I can see that the trial period is actually starting from January to March. So that's a 3 months of period of time. That might not be long enough for a robotic project to kickstart. So is it possible that we might extend the trial period or maybe even move the trial period earlier in November's timeframe if there's a good business matching outcome already? Thank you.
Okay. Because the trial period is a case-by-case basis, we just set a standard for everyone's reference. But for some of the solutions, subject to the discussion with tech ventures, yourself, and the contractor to see the trial period or the POC period for the robotic solutions. If you need more time or more times would be required, I think during the business matching sessions, you can raise this out to our our corporate partners. That means depending on your case, if your case need more time, I think it's negotiable.
Thank you, Raymond. Any further question on site? Maybe no. So thanks. Thanks, Raymond and James, for this session. Thanks again. And today's ConTech Accelerator Information Session is coming to an end. Once again, thank you all of you and online participants for joining us today. Now it's time for you to take actions. Don't forget to submit your proposal to our online portal by 14th of October. If you have any further questions about the program, Raymond and I are always ready to assist you. It's time to wrap up of today's session. We hope you enjoy it and look forward to seeing you in our next event. Have a great day. Thank you.